The Apostle Paul really knew who his enemy was. And in Ephesians chapter 6, he tells us to put on the full armor of God. And there's an offensive weapon included in that, and that is the sword of the Spirit. The focus of our stained glass window of today, in the back of the sanctuary to your left. Schemes for our struggle is not against the flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God, and pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for all the saints. These words come to us from Ephesians chapter 6, where the Apostle Paul tells us so eloquently to take upon ourselves the full armor of God, the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. What an eloquent way for Paul to explain to us the Bible, the Word of God, the Logos Word of God, whereas the Rhema Word of God is the spoken Word of God. This is the written Word of God. John chapter 1, John wanted us to know why Jesus came. He said, in the beginning was the Word, the Holy Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. He was with him in the beginning. We can go through this entire Bible, and we get to Luke 24, and Jesus tells us that everything that you already read in the law and the prophets, it all relates to me. Every single little thing in here relates to him, points to him in some way. We may not always understand it, but it is an offensive weapon against the powers of darkness. Spiritus Gladius, the sword of the Spirit, represented in our window of today, such an important thing for us to know and learn. It is so important for us to, even if we don't understand it, to read the Word of God, the sword of the Spirit, the Spiritus Gladius. It helps us in our lives. Very important book here. Take time to get to know it, and God will help you get to know Him through it. And we will be back next week, another window in our series of the stained glass windows of the Blair First Methodist Church.